Okay, we're going to try this again. What is up, YouTube? It has been a while, and today we're going to be talking about something different. This is not home brewing. This is not, this has nothing to do with homestead necessarily, but it has to do with the same mindset as homesteading, in my opinion. Obviously, there are people out there who homestead, and this isn't even in their thought process. Which, you know, everybody has their own way of doing things. To me, I don't think you're fully seeing the purpose of homesteading if you're not incorporating some of the things we're going to talk about today. And the things we're going to be talking about today is personal defense. Okay? I am a strong believer in the Second Amendment and a strong believer that every human being has the right to protect themselves, and the easiest way to protect yourself, or the easiest way to do that on a fundamental basis is with a firearm, in that if somebody is trying to attack you or do you serious bodily harm, the easiest way to stop them is to put them out of commission. You know, not necessarily to kill them, but to stop the threat, right? And firearms are very effective at doing that. So we are in the vein of firearms for this video. I have 3 firearms over here that I'm going to be using for this. And we're going to be talking about a product from a company called VIKTOS. They are, I believe, veteran-owned, or at the very least, these are all veteran designed and developed products. I don't know if they are 100% veteran-owned, but I know they are. Their products are all supposed to be veteran designed and developed. So that is what we're talking about today, is this. This is the VIKTOS Upscale CCW sling bag. So, beautiful thing about this bag. You can make this a kind of sleeper tactical bag. You can make this an EDC bag. Or honestly, you could make this a, very, very short-term SHTF situation bag. And we'll cover all of those here in a minute, assuming the video doesn't cut out. This is the 3rd time I've tried to film this. But, so yeah, we're going to go over what my purposes for it are going to be mainly, my secondary use for it, which is going to be a range bag, and we'll go over that. And then, yeah, that's really it. What I'm going to be using it for mainly, and then secondary use will be range bag, and then I'll go ahead and talk about how it can be used as a very short-term SHTF bag. So, first things first, what are my purposes for it? I'm going to use it as an EDC or everyday carry bag. Yeah, plain and simple. It's got a few different compartments on here. We have this main compartment, which we'll talk about here in a minute. What it's supposed to look like is the main compartment. Your front compartment, which is supposed to be a tech bag, or a tech pouch, which I have my wallet and keys in there right now. And then a glasses compartment up here. You can put other stuff in there. I have some cheap aviators in there right now. But so, yeah, let me go ahead and zip up that side. So, EDC bag, everyday carry. What am I going to have in here on the daily? So, first things first, it comes with this really nice Velcro holster that is stiff enough that I wouldn't be super concerned with it not being a hard holster and putting a firearm in there. Me, personally, because it might get some tossing around in that. No matter what pistol I'm running in it, I'm not going to be running one in the chamber. You know, even if it was something like this with manual safety on, nothing can really bounce that. You know, things can still happen, right? And I want to point out, all these guns have no magazine and are clear. I'll go ahead and show you that one, the small one. Glock. Yep, Beretta. Okay. So yeah, every day I'm going to be running this. CZ82, chambered in 9mm Makarov, 12-round magazine. I don't remember putting that hammer back. Oh, right, never mind. Okay. This will be in there, obviously with the magazine in it, as a good backup. Every day, when I'm at work, whatever. When I'm at work, for the past couple of months, I've been carrying this Beretta 92. Obviously, this is a full-size handgun, 5-inch barrel, 9mm, 15-round magazine capacity. I've been carrying it in this, a pretty simple Black Hawk. Technically, it's a level 2 retention holster. You know, got the little paddle here. Boom. Nice clicky sound. Anyway, however, just got the Glock 17. So that's what I'm going to be carrying as my primary defense at the store. If for whatever reason I have an issue with that, I'll have this as a backup. Packs a little bit more punch than a 380, but not quite as much as full-on 9mm Luger or 9mm Parabellum. It's 12 rounds, fairly accurate gun, and decent last-ditch gun. I mean, you see the duct tape on the grips. You know, this is kind of my beat to hell last resort gun anyway. Yeah, I broke the grip and didn't have another way of securing it, so I put the duct tape on there. I'll get it fixed eventually, maybe. I think it gives it character. But anyway, so that goes in this pocket. I have it secured in there. Boom. Main pocket. What am I going to have in here? We have an Otis miniature cleaning kit, which is awesome because it comes with just about everything you need to clean a gun. I've got some sealskin, which is from Seal 1. It's a CLP saturated cloth. So those two together, you've got an awesome combination. Go ahead and slide that in there. Put this in the mesh pouch up front. And it doesn't really take up all that much space. Still looks relatively low profile. A pen, because you got to be able to write stuff sometimes, right? Which, I'll have to remove that in a minute. Pocket knife, no longer has a pocket clip, it broke off, but I really like the knife. Boom. Playing cards, because sometimes you get bored and you need something to do. Okay. Don't ask me why, that's just something I want to keep in there. And there's still room for when I add my first aid kit into here, but that's what I got in here right now. And I'm going to pull all that back out to show you the next part in just a minute. And of course I got my sunglasses up top. Alright. So that's just me, right? It slings over the shoulder. It's got this, you can pull it around, zip it open, and get your gun out very quickly. Now, let's talk about some other uses for this. Range bag. What am I going to have in here as a range bag? So, usually when I am at the range, I'm over at my friend's house. We have a steel target set up. We'll set up at 100 yards out. And that's while I'll sight in customer guns. So what would be in here? My sandstock. If I'm resighting in a gun, dope cards, pen, eye pro, ear pro, stuff like that. If I'm just going to go have a fun time, throw a couple of AK mags and maybe a handgun mag in there and go have a little bit of fun with my friends, right? Alright. Now, short-term SHTF bag. Alright. This is not very big. I mean, in comparison, it's about twice the length of my head, and I've got a big head. I mean, I can't even tell you how big that is. That's maybe 15 inches, maybe a little bit more than that. I don't remember the exact specs on it. It's not all that big. Can't fit a whole lot of stuff in here. that being said, you can fit a pretty decent IFAK in here. You can fit an MRE or two, some form of fire starter, and either a tarp or emergency blanket. You know, does have these down here at the bottom. You could tie a sleeping bag to it if you really had to. It will take a 1.5 liter hydration bladder in here. You can also put a very specific soft armor panel in here that is on their website at VIKTOS. VIKTOS's website, when you look this up, it'll tell you what kind of armor panel can go on here. Now, on top of that, it is MOLLE on the back, so you can MOLLE this onto a plate carrier if you have that set up. So if you wanted to run this as just like a day bag or something like that in an SHTF situation, you could 100% do that, and that would be a completely legit use for it. You can run extra ammo in here. You can run whatever supplies you might need doing something like a patrol in an SHTF situation. Let's go ahead and talk about that. So, when I say that I can go use this as a range bag or SHTF, I can run AK mags. There's some beautiful little stretchy bits in here that I can fit. AR mags would work better, but this is what I had access to right now, because I didn't feel like going to the gun cabinet and getting AR mags, but maybe I should have. This was easier a minute ago, but of course I moved something. Or maybe I put the one magazine in backwards. I'm not sure, but now it's getting caught on the... There we go. Okay. This will hold 2 AR or 2 AK mags. And then you can run 3 normal-sized pistol mags. I mean, if you have 3 extra Glock mags, you can run them in here, no problem. Beretta mags. If you've got a 380 or something like this CZ82 that it's a little bit thinner, you can probably double that and run 6 in these little stretchy compartments. And I'm not, yeah, these little stretchy pistol mag holders. Yeah, like that. You could run maps in here. You could run other loose, another box of ammo. Your Glock mag loader. They all come with mag loaders now. I mean, or not mag loader, but loading assistant. I don't know. I don't remember what they're called exactly, according to Glock specifically. But yeah, it is a very good multi-purpose bag. You can run a bunch of stuff in here. I mean, the fact that I could run, honestly, I think you could run the longer 9mm Glock mags in there. I don't know if it's necessarily completely tall enough to run like the 33 round mags. But yeah, if you had something that ran Glock mags that was like a 9mm AR or like an Evo 3 Scorpion that was set up for Glock mags, because I don't remember if they come set up for Glock mags or CZ Zone mag. Honestly, between the pistol stretchies and the rifle magazine stretchies, you could probably fit, well, that's 2, 4, 6, 7-ish 33 rounders if they would fit in here, because I don't know if they will. That's a lot of magazines. In all honesty, I mean, 7 33 round magazines, that's 200 and something rounds of 9mm, plus you'd probably have one in the gun. That's quite a bit. Or you can run all sorts of different stuff. It's pretty versatile. You can switch it from either side, whether you're right-handed or left-handed. Me being right-handed, slings over like that. If I need it, all I gotta do is bring it up, unzip, reach in, and pull out my gun. So yeah, super nice little bag. Definitely recommend, if you're looking for something like this, to go over to VIKTOS, give this a look. Give the I believe they have the Sling Bag 2.0 as well. Awesome, really good quality. I mean, the stitching on all the seams is really good. The zippers are really, really nice. They're nice and flush, not super aggressive. Look like they're decent quality zippers. All the stitching looks good. Does have a Velcro bit up here if you wanted to put a morale patch or something on there like that. I mean, they're pretty good. The tag on the inside says 100% nylon. I believe on their website something was mentioned about Cordura, but I don't know necessarily, and I don't remember. But they're awesome bags. Definitely recommend you guys check them out. They've got a ton of other really cool stuff on there as well. So, yeah. Now that we're done with that, we're going to briefly touch on why I think firearms and EDC, stuff like that, goes into the mindset of homesteading. To me, the whole mindset of homesteading is being self-sufficient. You know, being able to provide your own food, provide your own, whether it's vegetables, meat, eggs, booze, you know. Being able to sustain yourself, your family, you know, whether that's converting to solar, which I didn't mean I've converted to solar, I haven't. We're working on it here at the house. Being trained in first aid, or if you yourself are not trained, somebody you know who can handle first aid, or more than first aid if necessary, gets that training. Make sure they have that training. Having the proper tools at your disposal to do those things. You know, one of the first things that's going in here starting tomorrow is a cat tourniquet. Why? Because I know exactly where my cat tourniquet is. I'm just lazy and I'm not going to go get it right now. And then I'm going to rebuild my IFAK, and it's going in here, which is emergency first aid kit, to anybody who sees this video and didn't know what that meant. Being able to maintain your stuff. Reason I have a gun cleaning kit in the bag that's going to have a backup to my regular carry. So, why do I think firearms goes along with that? If you can't defend yourself, then you're not doing a very good job at being self-sufficient and being self-sustaining. You know, getting in shape, that's one of the things I'm working on. Obviously, that's part of being able to protect yourself as well. So yeah, I am working on getting in shape, working on getting more training, although I'll be doing it in a interesting way. I'm instead of paying for training, I'm going to convince the government to pay me to train via joining the Air Force. Lock the Beretta over there. But yeah, so to me, that's why things like firearms and that go into being self-sufficient and the homesteading mindset. So I highly recommend anybody who is in the United States and can... This is why it's a backup, because it doesn't like its magazines. And it is my beat-around gun for similar reasons. Anyway, yeah. So, if you're in the United States and can legally purchase a firearm and own, or you own a firearm, I highly recommend you get the training that you need. I need to set this up while it's actually slinged up. So, 1 second. Sorry about that. Okay. So yeah, I highly recommend you get that training. Know how to do those things. Learn to at least use a firearm. I'm not saying you necessarily have to go out and get a firearm, okay? I know there are people who they're not necessarily anti-gun, but they are anti-gun for themselves. I'm not saying everybody needs to own a firearm. if they choose not to, okay? But if you're of legal age in whatever state you live in, and you live in the United States, so you can go out and you can buy a Glock, an AR, an AK, a Ruger Ranch rifle, a Ruger Mini 14 or Mini 30. I highly recommend that if you want to learn and you want to take that next step into being self-sufficient, to get a gun and to practice with it, to get training. You know, I mean, there are tons of great videos out there on very, very simple training drills you can do to basically just make you proficient as a shooter. I mean, Grand Thumb, he's got several great ones. T-Rex Arms, Lucas from T-Rex Arms, he's got a bunch of different videos on different shooting drills and all sorts of other stuff, and a bunch of crazy stuff because he shoots like crazy. Because he has the money to afford all the ammo and time spent at a range that a lot of people obviously don't do. And training is not necessarily cheap, right? I'm not saying break the bank. You know, get the best training you can afford. If that's as simple as taking your state's carry training required to get a carry permit, or if your state has constitutional carry, finding a trainer who can train you in basic, basic self-defense firearms training, which is usually done with a handgun. If you are under the age of 21, you cannot federally go into a gun store and purchase a handgun. Certain states that varies on whether you can buy a handgun under 21. But federally you have to be 21 to fill out a background check to buy a pistol. That's just the way it is. So if that is something that you want to do, I 100% encourage it. And I will always encourage that somebody does take the next logical, in my mind, step to being self-sufficient, which is taking your security into your own hands. Okay? But yeah, only wanted to touch on that for a minute. Ended up being several minutes, but that's why I kind of included some firearm stuff into this channel, and what's going to be my EDC bag into this channel. Thought it was something that would go in here, and it's something I want to focus on a little bit. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and clean all this stuff up, and see you guys in the next video. And quick update on the blueberry hibiscus mead. It is bottled. I shot the video for the bottling, and it accidentally got deleted, so I do apologize for that. But it is bottled, and I'm thinking of basically doing the same recipe, but using sugar, so making a blueberry hibiscus wine instead of a mead, and seeing if it goes a little bit higher in alcohol. This one didn't perform all that well, considering the yeast I used in it. I'm thinking that might have been because the area I was keeping it in, which is my closet over there, might have been too cold while I was fermenting. So now that it's warming up just a little bit every couple of days, I'm going to try it again with sugar this time and see if we can reach a little bit higher ABV and make it just a little bit drier this go around. But yeah, so look forward to that, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Y'all have a good one.